Can plastic surgery completely erase a face the world once loved? In this video, we're diving into documented cases of celebrity transformations that stunned fans and even experts. These aren't rumors or internet gossip. They're real stories, real procedures, and real consequences. What began as a promise of youth sometimes became something far more extreme. In a few shocking cases, some barely look human anymore. Let's uncover what really happened. Michael Jackson, the transformation of an icon. Michael Jackson was once the most recognizable face on the planet. In the early 1980s, he still carried the soft, youthful features the world had watched grow from child prodigy to global superstar. But behind the music and record-breaking success, a quieter transformation was unfolding. It began with a nasal injury during rehearsals, leading to a rhinoplasty he said was meant to improve his breathing. That procedure marked the start of a long series of documented changes. Over time, his nose became narrower and more delicate, losing structure with each revision. Subtle adjustments to his chin, cheekbones, and eyelids followed, along with skin treatments that intensified public scrutiny. Jackson was later diagnosed with vitiligo, a skin condition that explained changes in pigmentation. Still, speculation never stopped. Each appearance seemed to reveal a new version of his face, more refined yet further from the young man audiences first adored. His transformation became more than cosmetic. It reflected relentless media pressure, personal insecurity, and an impossible pursuit of perfection. In trying to reshape his image, Michael Jackson reshaped his identity forever. Mickey Rourke, a face marked by impact. In the 1980s, Mickey Rourke was considered one of Hollywood's most magnetic leading men. His appeal wasn't polished perfection, it was raw intensity. With sharp features and a rebellious edge, he embodied a rugged masculinity that felt authentic and untamed. But when Rourke stepped away from acting in the early 1990s to pursue professional boxing, everything changed. The sport left visible damage. Broken cheekbones, a shattered nose, and repeated facial trauma required reconstructive surgeries. What began as medical necessity gradually turned into a series of cosmetic revisions. Multiple rhinoplasties, cheek implants, skin tightening procedures, and other corrections followed. Each operation aimed to repair or refine, but the cumulative effect altered his natural expression. Rourke later admitted that some procedures were mistakes and that he trusted the wrong doctors. The result was a face that looked increasingly distant from the one audiences remembered. Although he achieved a powerful comeback with The Wrestler, his physical transformation remained a permanent reminder of risk. His story highlights how easily reconstruction can blur into reinvention and how difficult it can be to reclaim what once felt effortless. Jedlica, redefining the human canvas. Unlike many public figures who quietly refine their appearance, Jedlica made transformation his life's mission. From a young age, he believed natural beauty was limiting something that could and should be redesigned. Just days after turning 18, he underwent his first rhinoplasty. It would not be his last. Over the years, Justin reportedly underwent hundreds of cosmetic procedures. Multiple nose surgeries reshaped his profile. Custom silicone implants were placed in his chest, shoulders, and arms to create a hyper-sculpted physique. Facial fillers, brow lifts, and body contouring procedures followed. Each modification was deliberate, pushing him further from conventional appearance and closer to his self-designed ideal. Media outlets labeled him the human Ken doll, a nickname he openly embraced. For Justin, surgery was not about correction, it was about artistic control. His body became a living sculpture, constantly revised and refined. Supporters view him as a symbol of radical self-expression. Critics see an extreme example of obsession. Either way, his transformation challenges a deeper question. When identity becomes design, where does the boundary between self and creation truly exist? Jocelyn Wildenstein, the woman behind the headlines. Jocelyn Wildenstein became one of the most talked-about socialites in the world, not for a film role or a hit song, but for her extraordinary transformation. Once known for her natural beauty and glamorous lifestyle, her appearance began to shift dramatically during her high-profile marriage to billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein. Reports suggest that what started as subtle cosmetic procedures gradually evolved into extensive facial surgeries. Over the years, her cheekbones became more pronounced, her eyes more elongated, and her features increasingly sculpted. Media outlets labeled her Catwoman, a nickname she consistently rejected, insisting she simply liked a feline aesthetic. Wildenstein has always defended her choices, describing her surgeries as personal decisions rather than attempts to shock the public. Yet the intensity of her transformation fueled relentless tabloid coverage and public fascination. Her story sits at the intersection of wealth, image, and autonomy. Supporters argue she exercised control over her own appearance. Critics question the extremes. Regardless of perspective, Jocelyn Wildenstein's face became a global symbol of how far cosmetic transformation can redefine public identity. Pete Burns, fame, identity, and the price of reinvention. Pete Burns, frontman of the 1980s band Dead or Alive, was never afraid of standing out. With bold fashion, dramatic makeup, and androgynous beauty, he built a career on defying expectations. But over time, his pursuit of a more extreme and sculpted look led him down a complicated path of cosmetic procedures. What began as lip enhancements and facial adjustments gradually escalated into dozens of surgeries. Burns openly admitted to multiple rhinoplasties, cheek implants, fillers, and reconstructive procedures. At one point, complications from a lip surgery nearly cost him his life, requiring corrective operations to repair severe damage. Unlike many celebrities, Burns spoke candidly about his experiences. He described his surgeries as part of his identity, an evolving artistic expression rather than a mistake. Yet the physical toll was undeniable. His face changed dramatically over the years, becoming one of the most striking examples of cosmetic transformation in pop culture. Pete Burns' story is layered and complex. It reflects creativity, defiance, and personal freedom, but also risk. In reshaping his image, he challenged beauty norms while confronting the unpredictable consequences of surgical reinvention. Simon Cowell, when control slipped away. For decades, Simon Cowell's face was as powerful as his words. A raised eyebrow, a tight smile, a silent stare. Those expressions defined his authority on television. His sharp, controlled appearance became part of his brand. But as the years passed, the fear of aging in front of millions began to take its toll. What started as subtle maintenance Botox and facial fillers to soften lines gradually became more frequent. At first, the changes were barely noticeable. Then, they weren't. His features appeared tighter, his cheeks fuller, his expressions increasingly limited. By the early 2020s, viewers began commenting on how different he looked. In one widely discussed public appearance, many admitted they barely recognized him. Cowell later acknowledged he may have gone too far. The turning point, he revealed, came when his young son reacted with concern to his altered appearance. That moment forced him to reassess. Since then, he has reportedly scaled back on cosmetic procedures, focusing instead on health and moderation. His story stands as a reminder. When the pursuit of youth overrides balance, even the most recognizable faces can begin to disappear. The Bogdanoff Twins, a transformation that defied explanation. Igor and Gritchka Bogdanoff were once familiar faces on French television. identical twins known for blending science, cosmology, and entertainment. In the 1980s and early 1990s, their appearance was distinctive but natural, marked by sharp features and confident charisma. Over time, however, that image began to change. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, viewers noticed increasingly dramatic differences. Their cheekbones appeared more pronounced, their chins sharper, their lips fuller, and their skin unusually taut. With each public appearance, speculation intensified. Though the twins consistently denied undergoing specific cosmetic surgeries, experts widely suggested the visible signs of fillers and other facial enhancements. The transformation became so extreme that media outlets nicknamed them the Alien Twins, a label that followed them for years. Their faces seemed sculpted beyond conventional proportion, sparking both fascination and disbelief. When both brothers passed away in 2021, their legacy remained divided between intellectual ambition and physical controversy. Their story raises an unsettling question. When self-image evolves too far from nature, does it redefine identity or erase it entirely? Pixee Fox, designing a fantas. Pixee Fox didn't just want to enhance her appearance, she wanted to transform herself into a living cartoon. Inspired by animated characters like Jessica Rabbit and Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, the Swedish model set out to achieve an exaggerated hourglass figure and ultra-defined facial features. Her journey included multiple documented procedures: rhinoplasty, breast augmentations, eyelid surgery, jaw contouring, and even the surgical removal of several ribs to dramatically reduce her waistline. The goal was precision, an impossibly small waist paired with striking curves. Over time, her look became increasingly stylized, blurring the line between human anatomy and fantasy design. Fox has openly discussed her surgeries, framing them as empowerment and creative self-expression. To her, the body is customizable, an artistic project shaped by intention and discipline. Yet medical experts have raised concerns about the physical risks associated with such extreme modifications. Pixee Fox's transformation challenges traditional ideas of beauty and proportion. For some, she represents autonomy and imagination. For others, she illustrates how the pursuit of an ideal, especially one rooted in fiction, can push the limits of what the human body was ever meant to become. Sylvester Stallone, strength in the spotlight. For decades, Sylvester Stallone represented cinematic strength. As Rocky Balboa and John Rambo, he embodied resilience, grit, and physical dominance. His chiseled jaw, muscular build, and intense stare became symbols of 1980s action heroes. But behind that image was a lesser-known reality. Stallone was born with partial facial nerve damage, which caused his signature slurred speech and asymmetrical expression. For years, that imperfection became part of his identity. However, as he aged under Hollywood's unforgiving spotlight, the pressure to maintain his iconic look intensified. Reports and expert observations have pointed to facelifts, Botox, and fillers over time. Gradually, his features appeared tighter, more sculpted, and less expressive than before. What once conveyed battle-worn authenticity began to look increasingly refined. Some fans felt the change softened the raw edge that made him believable on screen. Yet Stallone never stepped away from the industry. He continued acting, producing, and reinventing himself. His evolution reflects a quiet truth. Even the strongest icons can feel vulnerable to aging. In an industry obsessed with youth, maintaining power sometimes means confronting the mirror as fiercely as any opponent. These transformations are more than cosmetic stories. They reflect pressure, identity, and the human desire to control time itself. Some found confidence, others faced consequences. But each journey reminds us how powerful the mirror can become. So the real question remains, How far can a human being go in the pursuit of perfection? If this story made you think, like the video, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more deep dives.